Welcome to this Mastery Empowerment course from New Earth One Network. This is designed exclusively for your higher self connection and embodiment. Welcome, everyone. As we continue our series on Lemuria Awakening, we have the Lemurian Priestess, SanRa, with us. SanRa is a beautiful soul who remembers her experience as a priestess in Lemuria, and she brings forward sacred chants that absolutely awaken our DNA. Hi, SanRa.
Hi, Lauren. Hi, everybody.
We are so pleased to be here with you. We're going to hear your chanting, and that right there is going to take so many people into a deep memory of Lemuria. Let's start with your story. For those who do not know SanRa, how did you make your connection to the Lemurian priestesses?
Well, let's see. This was in 2011. I had already been doing voice channeling of other masters. But in 2011, in January, in a meditation, I heard that we are the Lemurian Priestess Circle of 13. You are one of us. You are the only one that's still physically embodied. And we want to speak through you to assist in the awakening of other people so that we can help people remember Lemuria and emerge, let it emerge from each one of us who has that memory or that somehow latent knowing. So they started working with individual people, and then we started bringing through energy in groups, which has been really powerful. And then they started bringing through the songs. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. So it was, so now it's 11 years ago that they first came to me and said, please bring us through.
And did you know anything about Lemuria? For some of us, the word Lemuria itself is an activation. I know it melted my heart every time I heard it. Yeah. And it actually connected me to my soul family. So that's really quite amazing. When you received that information, did you know about Lemuria, and how did you?
Yeah. I did know about Lemuria. I did know. I wouldn't say I had a whole lot of details, but I did know about Lemuria. And this is a funny thing. Back when I was in high school, you know how in high school we have to give speeches about things? And most of us hated it. You, the journalists, may not have, but anyway, I came across this book called I can't remember it now, the name of it, but the Book of Mu, M-U. I don't know how I would have found that book. It's kind of an obscure book when I was, 17. But I read that book and I gave a whole report about it. So I knew somehow about Lemuria even then, even though consciously no. But then since then, yes, I knew about it. I had read a little bit, and so I was familiar that there was a Lemuria, but I didn't know too much about it. Enough that I was like, oh, wow, this is wonderful. Yeah.
So you had been channeling prior to this. And so this was a change in your guides or in your channeled beings. You had channeled Jwal Kul, and he's one of my guides. And actually you shared something about that, him being my guide, and it resonated so deeply. And so you moved, you were doing both for a little while, but then you moved away from channeling DK into really fully doing the priestesses. And was that a difficult decision, or what was that like to stop channeling one?
Well, it actually was, I wouldn't say it was a decision. It was kind of we're moving into different energies. Dwell Cool is still present with me. But yes, it was really like a further opening of my heart, because as I was loving channeling Dwell Cool and the masters, I still felt there's something missing. And I knew it was where's the feminine energy, because I knew that I came into this life to work with the feminine. So I'm channeling all these male presences, which I love deeply, but where is the feminine? And so when the priestesses came to me, I was like, oh, I'm home in my heart. You know, the feminine Lemurian energy is like, yes, this is my true work, and what I was I was kind of waiting for. Yeah. So
as I said, we're going to hear some of the chants, and it's going to be beautiful. It really is lovely.
yeah.
So you did a book report on Lemuria in high school. I mean, that's really cool. That was like, I get chills just thinking about that, because that was just like part of your journey and this whole timeline, and you've come full circle back into it now.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about what you learned in the book report that you were giving, and now what you know about Lemuria from the priestesses?
Well, that's a hard question. That was a long time ago when I was in high school. But there were a lot of symbols, and they, a lot of symbols that were in the book. And I don't remember what I said about it, honestly, but I remember it was the energy. I think it was like something in the energy drew me, and then I was able to just present that. But there wasn't anything about day-to-day life that I recall from that book. And so now that, and there wasn't anything really about the values so much of Lemuria that I recall, but it was mostly about the symbols, and that there were people there, and that we lived there, and that we went other places, and that it was an idyllic kind of paradise society. That's what I remember in this moment from that book. So now, as the priestesses have come and are, bringing forth information, they're bringing forth the beauty, the harmony, the cooperation, how people live together spiritually and from the heart. They're talking to us about how we can allow this energy to emerge now. And that is what's so important, because as they would tell us these things, then it's like there's that awakening. I mean, it just comes up from deep within. And so they told us about our DNA. They told us about what we did in Lemuria. They told us how we lived in Lemuria. They told us about how we can become that Lemurian being again. And how it's okay, because I always tell people, if you are listening to this now, you're from Lemuria, you are from there. It doesn't mean you haven't been in any other places in past civilizations, but you are from Lemuria. So you have those encodements, and we hear that word a lot. You have the Lemurian encodements that are in the chambers of your chakras. And so when and I feel it happening now, when the circle of 13 brings forth, these are like beams of encoded energy, it moves into us and helps us activate and helps us open. These codes of energy act like keys, and then the keys open these hidden chambers of Lemuria in our chakras. And they bring also encodements into the DNA. So the Lemurian strands of DNA begin to come alive again. So it's this activation of who we are, even if we don't specifically remember what we did or who we were, that doesn't matter. I mean, yes, we all want to know more about that, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that we are awakening this energy. So we are again being filled with our Lemurian energy that is within.
Beautiful,
It's
beautiful.
amazing, isn't it?
Yes, and that's why anytime we hear the word Lemuria, or anytime someone is even curious about Lemuria, that's their encodements, kind of tapping them and
Right,
saying,
exactly,
yes,
exactly.
yeah,
Yes. And now at this time, it is so important that we remember that energy, that we awaken that, because we need this Lemurian energy to anchor our new golden age, to awaken our new earth. Not that it's the only energy we need, but Lemuria is so much a part of this. So to awaken this and believe in ourselves and feel that beautiful, loving flow of energy, it's necessary. And as we awaken, then we help other people awaken because we're emanating our own energy then. And it goes through the grid system. It goes to other people's energy field. It goes through the Lemurian grid on Earth, which is awakening, as well as the part of us that's in the human Lemurian grid. So it's a lot. It's beautiful. It's necessary. It's exciting.
yes, it is the return of the divine feminine during this time.
Yeah.
And it's really challenging when we look at the outer world, keeping an eye on the media and what's going on in certain things. One could really be discouraged, but there's no need to be discouraged, because what can you tell us about how we hold this energy and how it can literally radiate us into a new reality above? It'll help us transcend the old density that is falling away. Not a cop out. I want to make that very clear, but it's claiming something within us. And it's beautiful to bring forward. I've heard that the etheric energy of Lemuria is still surrounding our planet. So it's still available to us in our DNA and actually in an etheric realm, right? Comment on that too, and how we can become, as you mentioned, the priestesses are saying how we can become Lemurian. What do we
Right.
need to do?
Right. So the Lemurian energy is within us, and it is beginning to awaken and activate. And that happened when we were in Lemuria. That energy was part of us then, and it's still part of us, but now it's awakening. Now, also, the Lemurian energy is in the grid system that's on Earth. So that includes the ley lines, which is part of the grid system, but also the grid system in the energy bodies of Earth. So Lemuria never really left. The actual land mass sunk into the ocean, but the essence and the energy of Lemuria is still here. It just got quiet because so many other things kind of took over. And so it was kind of put into us and divinely engineered that at the right time, at the right vibration, when people were coming together, what was needed on Earth, then it would come alive again, which is what is happening. So Lemuria didn't, disappear. It just got quiet, and now it is no longer quiet. It is now coming forth. So that is all around us, and that's how it's in the ethers of Earth, is through the etheric grid system and through us as humans.
So if we wanted to bring it forward from within us, do we activate the grids? Do we add to the grids? Do we pull that energy from the grids? Do we have to be conscious as we do this, or are we just, by anchoring to it, it's happening anyway?
Well, it's happening anyway, whether we're conscious of it or not. How many people are gee, I heard this word Lemuria on your show, and here I am. What does that mean? It's because something awakened within and without, and they've come together. So the word Lemuria, as you said, sparks that. So whether we know it or not, it is happening. And so then we get more, we're drawn to shows like this or books or whatever it may be. And then it begins to awaken from within. So then it connects with our chakras, excuse me, and with the grid system. And with our DNA. Can I do the latte na now?
I was actually going to ask you that. Latte Na is the beautiful song. Bring forward your priestess self and the priestesses, and let's do that. Yes.
Okay, so the Latte Na is the first song that the priestesses ever gave me. And all the songs don't always have literal meanings, but this one is Latte Na, we are one. So it's a song of unity. It's L-A, second word is T-E, last word is N-A, Latte Na. So it's very simple. I'll just begin with it. Latte na, 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 latte na. Latina, 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 na. Hold on. Latina, 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 na. Latina, 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 na. Latina, 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 Latina. La la tina 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 la la tina
We are feeling our DNA awakening, feeling overflowing with love. I love that song. And isn't it going to be wonderful when you're in Mount Shasta? I feel that people are going to be singing that. I hear the audience singing it.
Yes.
And on the live stream, we'll be singing it right there with you.
And that's so beautiful. We sang it in Lemuria together, and people remember. people remember other things I've done. You know, it's like, oh, this is familiar. And then they automatically, people just join in. So yes, it's so wonderful.
Oh my gosh, I'm floating right now. And I heard that from you like what, 11 years now, 11 years ago. And it was so beautiful that that has stayed with me personally as well. And I'll find
Mhm.
myself when
Yeah.
I'm doing a tone or a chant, that just comes out. So thank you. It is really
Mm.
beautiful. Feels so great. And the other songs that have come forth too, there's so many of them. Tell
Mhm.
us about how you, I mean, you're just in tune and just overflowing with these tunes.
Yes, I mean, sometimes they just come. I'll be walking along and one will come and I have to quick get out my phone, so I can sing into it. And sometimes they come in meditation. So, but yeah, there are quite a few of them. And they're all a little different. And for me, I feel them in my body a little, each song's a little different because they're meant to be activators. And there's so many that are soothing. I mean, don't we need soothing energy? So the soothing is very important because we are in this society, and this civilization that is healing. If you're watching the news, it may not appear that way, but we're like, okay, this is happening. These things on the outside that are lower vibrational, but it is not my reality. And so that's one thing we need to remember. And I think that maybe addressed what you asked me previously. But the songs also help us with that because it helps us remember the higher vibrational energy that we still are. It helps us move more out of separation into that oneness, into that unity. And this is so important. Whatever we see happening on the outside that does not feel joyful or happy, it's like, okay, there's one reality where that's true, and I am raising my own vibration into the Lemurian energy and the higher cosmic energy, so that not only am I evolving into that which I know myself to be, but I'm emanating that out. So the songs help us with that. So it's important that we remember we are creating our own reality. And we are doing that not by focusing on what is maybe wrong, quote unquote, wrong. What is maybe happening where people are being hurt, where karma is playing out. We are moving back into our own Lemuria knowing, our own higher vibration, our own loving self, our own memory of joy and wonder and harmony and beauty. These are Lemurian values: harmony and beauty, loving, cooperation, community. So we're moving back into that by healing ourselves and by focusing on that higher vibration of who we are, because that's emerging. That is emerging from within us. And doesn't that give us also hope? Oh, good. Maybe I have this I need to learn and that I need to learn. But if I'm focusing on my own loving energy and my harmony and my Lemurian heritage, then I am bringing that into my reality and allowing that to move into reality on earth.
Yes, so beautiful. So
Yeah.
beautiful. How would you suggest folks remember their heritage of Lemuria? Are there any things they should know? Any signs to follow?
Well, the signs to follow is interesting. But I think the most important signs to follow, we will get signs from the outside. This show, the way you present about Lemuria, this is a sign to follow, right? But also we want to bring forth the part of us that is loving. And so We need to be with the part of us. We may have anger and jealousy. We have all those things because we're in the process of healing these things. We all have these things. So it's like, oh, gee, I'm not in a happy place today. I'm upset with this or that. So I'm going to notice that. I'm not going to, push it down. I'm going to notice it. And then I'm going to allow it to be given to the light. And I'm going to be with my loving self. Because any part of us that is having a temper tantrum or being upset or being angry or being jealous or, being afraid, whatever it is, okay, this is a part of me that needs healing. I'm going to love that part. I'm just going to love that part. Now, then when you have a song like this, then remember the song. Then Latte Na, it's a pretty simple song. You can sing that. Latte, or if you can't remember the tune, just say it. Latte Na, latte na, latte na. That brings us in oneness within our own being. And we have to start from within. What is that Gandhi said? Be the change you want to see in the world. So whatever we are knowing that from within, okay, I'm going to be that change. I'm going to begin. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to let that love spread forth. I'm going to remember, Lemuria. Well, if I know I'm part of Lemuria, great. I'll just continue to unfold that within me. If I don't know that yet, I'm just going to call that forth. Maybe I do have something of Lemuria in me. I'm going to call that forth. And remember the values. We have love. We have harmony. So important. We have beauty. We have balance. We have cooperation and community. These are so important. But as we can find that harmony, and this is what keeps coming today, so this must be an important message for today, is the harmony. We need to be within harmony within ourselves. We have to start there. And then allow that harmony to emanate out. So if we're feeling afraid, okay, I'm acknowledging that. I'm letting that go to the light. I'm loving myself, the part of me that feels afraid, and I'm bringing harmony to myself. And I have a song for harmony. Can we do it?
We can do it. I just want to say it's really magical because we're in an eclipse window. And as we're seeding our dream or intentions for the eclipse, yesterday, harmony came.
Is that right?
And so here we are today recording this, and it's like, yes, harmony. So that's indicative to me that this is what we're bringing forth. So thank you for that. Really, really beautiful. Let's do another song.
Song for harmony. Yes. No. We can just sing the song. This one is Hualanye. So it's Hualanyei. Hualanye. And sometimes when I do it, I just sing it, but you can also sing it in each chakra. And that helps harmonize the chakras. But I just love this song. As I always rock when I'm singing, so we can all do that. Hualanye, 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 Hualanye. Hualanye, 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 Hualanye. Hualanye, 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 Hualanye. Falanie, 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 falanie. Falanie.
Well, as you began singing, it reminded me of Hawaii, all of your singing. And as we know, Hawaii is the remnant, the mountaintops of
Yeah.
Lemuria.
Yes.
And wow, another interesting story I'd like to share briefly is that when you were saying that it's still there, Micronesia in the Pacific, also remnants of Lemuria. As a young journalist, I was over in Guam and went to the Marshall Islands doing a documentary, and I heard a song that sounded like what you were just singing there. These women in the forest, and in the jungle, and I went and searched it out, and there were maybe 6 or 7 women, and they were together and singing, and it just gave me chills. And your song right there reminded me of that episode. And so isn't it beautiful? So beautiful. We all need to start singing and dancing again. Yes.
Yes.
Remember.
Yes. The singing together too, it's so spiritual because we're sharing something that is in common, but it's coming from within, but then it's also spreading out. I mean, the sounds are so potent. They're so potent. And they're so loving and so beautiful. And it brings you into that feeling of oneness, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It brings us home.
It
Home.
brings us home in our hearts.
And I do want to say as well that in the work that you do with the Lemurian priestesses, and you work with clients to help them remember this Lemurianness within themselves, you had given me a name. You had given me, well, you and the priestesses had given me a name, and you said it, you can't even say it, Elura, and you had to sing it. You couldn't even, you can't say it. So isn't that interesting that most Lemurian names have to be sung? Aborigines, they recall walking and singing reality into existence.
That's right.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that amazing? Yes.
And I wanted to say that psychic channel Judy Callie, who also channels beings in Mount Shasta, Lemuria, she confirmed, and she doesn't know you.
Well, that's right.
Name. She gave me the same name that you gave me.
I remember you saying that. Isn't that amazing?
What validation?
Yes.
What validation?
Yes.
That's the realness of it all.
Yes.
And it's energy that we're picking up on. So beautiful. So it's cool. Is there a message from the priestesses that you'd like to bring through?
Yes. Yes, there is. So give me a minute here. Beloved hearts, we are the Lemurian Priestess Circle of 13, speaking to our dear sister SanRa Mekantalashte. We are deeply grateful to be present with you, beloved hearts, as you, each one of you, is unfolding, awakening your own inner Lemurian essence. As that moves through your body, through your cellular structure, through your energy centers, through your DNA, through the beautiful cellular and atomic levels of your beings. Beloved hearts, you are needed now in your Lemurian capacity in your beautiful cosmic energy. Trust yourselves, beloved hearts, for you are, in the saying of some of your more current day native peoples, you are the ones that you have been waiting for. You, beloved hearts, are awakening. You are remembering the wonder and beauty of your own Lemurian heritage. You are allowing for yourselves to come again into that harmony of who you are, believing in yourselves and knowing that this reality that you see as the past, beloved heart, is really an emerging timeline in this present moment. All that your thinking mind speaks of the past is just that, a mental construct. Your Lemurian self is not in the past. It is not in the future. It is in this moment. It is with you now. And as you acknowledge, and we ask each moment, each one of you, beloved hearts, acknowledge, I am my own Lemurian essence. I trust myself. I am in my Lemurian flowing energy, the sacred divine heart feminine energy that I know in my cellular structure is now awake. I am enlivened in this moment. And I know myself as my own Lemurian being, my own Lemurian priestess, my own Lemurian priest. I am that in this moment, and I allow that to emerge. Feel this in your cells, beloved hearts. Feel the vibrating in your body, because it is not outside of you. It is not even only in your energy field. It is in your physical cells, beloved hearts. And your physical cells are vibrating, are awakening with your Lemurian frequency. Know this to be true, beloved hearts. Know that as you move forth in your body, that it is your Lemurian being moving, awakening, allowing, emanating. Know that as you speak, it is your Lemurian energy being expressed through your throat and your throat chakra, yes, but also emanating through your entire energy field, moving out through the fingertips of these chakras, moving down through your legs and down through your feet and into the earth. Moving the back, out of the back, out the left and right, out the front, up above you, through your very meridians. Your Lemurian energy is expressing. And as you allow this, as you embrace it, beloved hearts, then you are becoming more of the true self, and you are allowing all of the aspects of your being to come forth. Beloved hearts, your sacred feminine energy, whether you are in a male body or a female body, becomes now expressed in sacred knowing and emanation. The great heart of Lemuria awakens, enlivens, activates, and moves out through your field. And if you will receive in this moment, we will bring you encoded beams of energy to awaken you, perhaps the first time, or continue to awaken you from all that you already know, Lemuria. Let us sit just for a moment in silence as you receive that which we offer from our great shared heart of Lemuria to you, to all of you. Beloved hearts, receive now. Ushia nakala ia patusha niakata omia nakawea hana upashatea. Malawia na ania katapiana oshapia tala oka metiana oshia tamania katuka. Nilania hoshia ua shia malutaka amianota pakusha neanaka. Disha. Beloved hearts, these sounds, sacred sounds of activation, sacred sounds that move through you in the great spirals of life, beloved heart, that move up and down your being, that move left and right and front and back, that move through your being in a way of activation. Beloved hearts, we are with you, as you are now more and more with yourself as the beautiful and wondrous Lemurian beings that you are. Namaste, beloved hearts. Wow. I see beautiful colors from this. The pink colors, yellow colors, green, blues, and then there's colors I can't see because they're beyond our visual spectrum, but they are moving around all of us and the whole group that's here.
Oh my gosh, that was an activation.
Yes, absolutely.
When we received and sat for a moment in silence, I got extremely warm. Face just whoosh. Yes. How beautiful. So we get to move in our being now, moving on the planet, radiating this essence. And we can always connect back into it in the face of everything. And that is how we change our world.
Absolutely. Isn't that how we heal the world? By being in this beautiful higher vibrational frequency. And if we lose it, then we return to it. And if we lose it again, we return to it. Absolutely. That's how we heal and change our new evolving world. Yes. Yes.
Well, you are going to be in Mount Shasta for the Lemuria Awakening event.
Yes.
And tell us what's going to go on there. What are you going to talk about? What are you going to share?
Okay, well, this is what I know in this moment. And as you know, sometimes we have plans and they change, but I have seen that we'll be bringing forth this energy of awakening. So we'll be activating people that are there or that are, on the webcast. So we'll be activating more energy. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm seeing more the energy that connects each one of us as Lemurians will be strengthened. It's almost like little strands of energy that connect with each person from all of our chakras. So these will be strengthened, and there will be some kind of ceremony during that time that through the channeling, I don't know exactly how that will come forth, but there is some, because it started. I mean, I've already seen it. It's already started. So it's like we are already working together to do whatever it is we're doing. And it is some kind of ceremony that we've already done in Lemuria that we are now doing as it is appropriate for modern times, but still having that ancient wisdom within it. So I'm not exactly sure how that is going to manifest, but we are doing some ancient ceremony that we did in Lemuria and connecting through these little strands, getting activations, talking about how to awaken Lemuria further from within us. Because however much we have already done that, there's still more and more and more to do. It's endless how much we can awaken and activate our beautiful Lemurian love and cooperation and harmony and beauty. So this will come forth in a way that will reveal itself as time comes closer.
Oh my goodness.
It's very exciting. I'm thrilled to be doing this.
Really looking forward to it. Absolutely. Really spectacular. You know, I know that there's, and when people are gathered in that space and even online in the live streaming with the chat, it's really interesting to share stories of remembrance of, you know, some people will know more details about what they did in Lemuria. And I'll share a quick story with the work that you've imparted on us. I went into toning, and I at first I would laugh when I heard toning, but then I was by myself one day in my house and I just allowed something to come forth in toning, very simple at first, and then it progressed and changed, and then I started bawling because I remembered being in Lemuria and standing on the shore. I'm going to cry now because that's the truth. And singing over across the bay to others. And that's how we would communicate. And it was so lovely and so magical that I was crying because I then saw how I judged myself. I turned on myself and judged myself for singing in other lives, in subsequent lives. And then it was like, whoa, I allowed others to judge me as well. Right. So that was really beautiful. So this is finding our voice again and not judging our voice. Yes. And it's different for everyone, but sharing of those stories are really incredible. And when we come together in a group like that, even online, the dream space that night is pretty incredible because I think that we're in the dream space with each other, with our pod. Isn't that interesting?
Yes. Yes, the singing is amazing because now you're just saying that, I can feel that more energy of my own awakening of all that singing coming forth. You know, my mom used to say to me, I always liked to sing, but I was very shy. I didn't like to sing by myself. Okay. She'd say, honey, you have such a pretty voice, you should sing. And I'm like, okay, Mom, whatever, you know, I'll sing what I want, you know. And now she's passed, but it's like, see, Mom, I am singing now, but it's not what either one of us thought. And that will awaken for many of us, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, there's something else when we feel how the singing affects us or the toning, even just toning. I was in my experience in that remembrance. Yeah. My animals, my dog and my cat came into the room, like suddenly just had to be there. And that was like, wow, hey. And then I went for a drive in my car and I continued chanting and singing. I mean, I was caught up in this for hours.
Oh, good. And
there was a situation where this was in Colorado and there were, I think there had to be 100 motorcycles out for a Sunday ride, go Mount Evans. And then we went up the mountain road and they passed me and I was like, uh-oh. So we get to the gate. And because I had been singing and in that vibration, my ego mind thought that I'd have to wait in line behind 100 motorcycles to get through the entrance. But something opened up. I had the roof down on my car and people were nice and they were waving and chatting. The next thing I know, the cars are being told to go up to the front past all the motorcycles. So it's like, that is an example of how that love and being in that vibration will literally shift our reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a beautiful story. Beautiful.
toning and remembering this Lemurian aspect.
Yes.
So we invite everyone to go deep within themselves and remember this Lemurian aspect, and just to follow the threads, of love. It's all about love, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well, SanRa, we are excited to have you there and to see you there, and for folks to meet you and for everyone to start singing in the audience. That's going to be, wow, it's going to be awesome. I can feel the energy of it. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to have your songs available in your special offer. That's going to be on this webpage for people to check out. Those were recorded with you and I together in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That was,
I know, I still remember that. It was beautiful.
really well how all those are produced. And you're actually working on something that is yet to be revealed, but we know that it's on the DNA. What can you share about this? That's also going to be something that you're offering as well for folks.
Okay, so what I know in this moment is there will be a series of 3 pre-recorded sessions, and it's about the DNA. So there will be some awakening and activating of the Lemurian DNA. And I know with our thinking mind, it's like, I want to know exactly how this works. There's this many strands, there's this. I don't know that. So I think what we need to do is trust that we have Lemurian strands in our DNA, and they are already awakening, or we wouldn't, be here knowing this, but we will have activation of these strands. We will have some restoration because, our DNA has been damaged. It's not 2 strands, there's so much more. So we will have some restoration of that. We will have further, there's a word, I can't think of it at the moment, but further assisting of the DNA to be embellished, maybe is a good word. So the energy will come from the priestesses. It will move through and around the DNA to awaken, to clear, to further be embellished and emanating. So that will help us to move into our Lemurian selves and for us to express that. And I mean, energetically express that. So that's all I know at this point, because that hasn't come through yet. But it's in my consciousness all the time. So I'll be guided. Okay, it's time, sit down and get these, but it hasn't fully come out yet. But these will be powerful. And the DNA, it brings us into the future as we are in the present moment with it. So as you have already said, we are creating the future as we are in the present moment with our own awakening. So helping us with the DNA, the priestesses will do, will take us these next many steps as to what we're doing. And we need to feel empowered in who we are from a space of loving energy. Not power over, like we've been living in, but we're moving through that now. So I am empowered to be my divine feminine Lemurian self. I am empowered. I believe in myself. I trust myself, and I am okay exactly how I am as I emerge further. So this awakening and trusting is real important. So, and the empowerment, these things need to come forth, because we cannot heal our world with suppressed feminine energy. We cannot do it. So our feminine heart energy and the flow comes forth. We don't make this happen. We allow it to happen. We don't force it or push it. We surrender to it. So that is what we are doing now. We're not figuring it out. We are opening to the flow of our own deep knowing.
Yes. And as we do that, feel the confidence that we have just by hearing those words. And what happens is, as we surrender to that love and we are empowered by trusting in that so deeply, when we do go 3D or something comes at us sideways, then we just get stronger at moving through it so much more quickly.
Right.
It seems like the self-judgment or the self-doubt will totally be overridden by this Lemurian love, this Lemurian essence.
And the more of us that awaken together, then we have so much more support. We don't feel so alone. And that is a big thing. People feel, I'm alone with this. I don't know anybody else who's like this. But look at, there's a whole worldwide community of us here. Whether we can meet physically or not, we are coming together. So maybe we can also kind of move beyond that feeling of alone. We're just together in a different way, you know?
This is a beautiful reunion of Lemurians taking place in Mount Shasta coming up at the end of June. Beautiful for those who want to journey and be there. Journey, grab some sisters and brothers or come by yourself and come on out and meet each other in Lemuria. If you can't travel, the live stream will be just as good. The chat line on Zoom is technologically a miracle in how it connects us and how it allows us to communicate. And it's really fun and really a great space. So we are feeling high on the vibes of Lemurian essence. And Mount Shasta, did you want to say anything about, we know it's a remnant, it's where the Lemurians went into Mount Shasta, but what else do you want to share about Mount Shasta and the potency?
Yes, well, the potency is very, very strong. And you see that we're welcomed by our Telosian sisters and brothers that are there already. I mean, it started already. So as you're interviewing me and the other people that are going to be there, that energy from the earth is coming up. And the Telosian people, even though they're, I think in the fifth or sixth dimension, and they can go much higher than that, they are present with us now and will be present with us there. Even if we don't see them, exactly, they are with us. And don't think for a minute that they have not been instrumental in bringing us all together. So, and then we've got the cosmic energy that comes into Mount Shasta and the Telosian energy that's coming, further up, from beneath, that's holding the whole energy together. So we will be together with our Telosian brothers and sisters in a way that maybe we don't fully understand, but they are present with us, and they have held this vibration until we could come back to it. And now we're coming back to it. So it's a reunion with them too. It's a reunion with them too. So we're coming together in ways that we maybe can't fully imagine yet, but it is happening now, and will kind of culminate there. And then we'll bring that back out when we go home or to wherever. We are bringing that and emanating that energy as we go back to our homes, and as we are working with a good system there, the ley lines or the ones, in the ethers, as we move to our families or our friends that maybe are not involved in what we are still emanating this energy and making this beautiful worldwide blanket or matrix of light and love and harmony and beauty. This is service. This is a service that we are gaining from, and that we are allowing to come from ourselves. This is part of our service. So many people come to me, well, what were my Lemurian lives? What's my life purpose? How do I do this? And this is one of the ways we bring forth this beautiful awakening all around the world, just by being ourselves in our own communities. It's a service that we are performing.
And it's a service that we raised our hands high and tall to come on to when we incarnated in this lifetime, because we We got this. We can do it, please. Sometimes we don't
Yes.
remember that. But when we do remember that, it makes it a little bit easier. And it's so simple, isn't it? It's not always easy, but it's so simple to be and emanate love in the face of everything. And we know this, it's in our DNA. And the more that we hold it and radiate it, the more it will become permanent and fully anchored. Yes.
Perfect. Absolutely.
SanRa, thank you. We are looking forward to meeting you in Mount Shasta, whether it's in person or via the live stream. It's going to be very magical. Details for that is on this webpage. And I just want to thank you and the priestesses for this time today. Any final message as we say goodbye?
Well, also deep gratitude for you, Loren, for all that are present, for all that are coming in whatever way to our gathering. And the priestesses, we allow, beloved hearts, for the great love of our beings to continue to flow with the great love of your beings, allowing you to remember the wonder of all that you are, beloved hearts, as we come together for the goodness, the purity, the transformation of your world. Hiashramaliyahana. Our deepest love, beloved hearts. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Lovely. And we're radiating this essence. We'll be flowing with the Lemurian priestess energies assisting us as well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, SanRa. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Namaste.